others run towards a prize. Today, I am running to fight for you, for the seniors counting coins at checkout, for the teachers buying food to feed their students, to the father working two jobs and still falling behind. My name is Tiffany Paynter, and I'm running in constituency 2 because hope is not passive. It requires action. And I have never been someone who waits to be saved. Over the last 15 years, I've worked to solve problems and create opportunities for others, whether in the business sector, nonprofit world, or government. My focus has always been on getting the work done. I'm not here for titles or accolades or a paycheck. I'm here to do better because we deserve better. I was raised by a bartender and a waitress, living paycheck to paycheck to feed 6 kids. So I understand the value of hard work, smart work, and service. As a teen, I walked between our two Bermudas, growing up poor in government housing on Top Square in St. George's while attending Salters. I was head girl by day, but by night I was packing groceries and walking dogs to pay for my first bike. It was in those two worlds that I learned how to build bridges between diverse people, between varying ideas, and between what is and what could be. I'm confident that if the residents of St. George's West vote for me, that I'll be able to represent their needs and hopes and dreams for their families, for themselves, and for our community. And if we work together with all the elected officials and candidates to form the government we need, we can solve our housing crisis. We can bring down the cost of living. And we can repair an education system that has been run to ruin. I've been reflecting on why I've decided to run. And I haven't come about this decision lightly. I've spent the better part of a year thinking about this, so this is not a last minute decision for me. Just on Monday, I called my brother and to confess that I was nervous about today. He did not skip a beat. He said, "Tiff, what's your why? What's your why when you're tired and stressed? What's your why that's more important than the sacrifice?" And I hung up the phone and I cried because I remembered my why. I remembered the day I grew up. The day I grew up, I was 25. I grew up at 25 when my mom died of cancer. That night, I walked out of a Agape house full of rage and blame. You see, after a lifetime of night shifts and side hustles, my mom was diagnosed with cancer without health insurance. And I remember my sister going broke and my dad going broke to pay for her medical treatments and her medication. I walked out into the botanical gardens that night thinking, I live in a country that lets poor people die. But I also saw clearly that night that I had done nothing to make my country better. In that moment of rage and blame, I saw clearly that up until that point, I had been completely self-serving, building my resume, and part of the problem. And I vowed that night that I would never be a part of the problem again. That's why I'm running as an independent in constituency 2. Every election cycle, we're asked to vote for the party or the devil you know, or to choose the lesser of two evils. I reject that completely. Today, I reject that completely. I want someone to vote for, not something to vote against. Now, the PLP and the OBA are trying to sell you the lie that they are the only contenders in this fight. But this isn't about who stands in the ring. This is about who will fight for you. They want us to cheer for their blows even when they hit below the belt, ignoring the fact that it's the people who are left, bruised and battered. I'm stepping in the ring not to fight them, but to remind us all that the fight was never supposed to be between us. It was supposed to be for us. But instead of focusing on solutions, these party politics keep pitting us against each other. Right now, the PLP and the OBA are like toxic parents shouting, "I will die for my children," while my generation is quietly left wondering, will you live for us? Year after year, there are thousands of us who aren't showing up to vote because we're too busy paying bills or treading water to pay attention to promises written in disappearing ink. So I make no promises today because I need to listen first. And I'll be canvassing over the next few weeks to listen to the hopes and dreams of my St. George's community and sharing those ideas that I have to help move us forward. Turning now to the 10,000 of us, who didn't show up to vote in 2020 that showed up to vote the year before. You could rise up and tidal wave this whole system by voting for the best candidate instead of a party. The candidate who actually can put you first. Can you see the path that independents are clearing for you? Are you willing to vote for the best 36 candidates? Because my dream team will consist of our best. It will be Malachi Simons, Renee Ming, Cyree Bean, Wane Crockle, Omar, Susie, Eugene, Curtis, Noel, and others. If I could vote in every constituency, I would vote for the best and brightest people, not a party. Because that's what we deserve. We don't just deserve better. We deserve our best. Not career politicians obligated to put their party's needs before their conscience or their better judgment. Not parties who spend more time plotting for power than fighting for you. The thing is, I know you're tired. I am tired with you. Right now, our classrooms are bridges built with missing planks. And our children and teachers are expected to cross them and are falling between the gaps. Parents and children look to the future and see doors closed before they even reach to knock. We imagine a Bermuda where leaders work for you, not their parties. Today, we face some hard truths. Bermuda is the most expensive place to live. We all have heard it 100 times. But living here feels like filling a bucket with holes. It doesn't matter how hard you work, it's never enough to get ahead here. And generations who used to dream of owning a piece of the rock count themselves lucky just to be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment. It doesn't have to be this way. We need a Bermuda where renewable energy drives down costs, where young people thrive in good jobs, and seniors and young professionals can form intergenerational housing communities. Right now, politics divides us. Parties put loyalty above progress, and the same old debates keep us stuck in the past. We need a Bermuda where our strengths are aligned, where the best ideas win, no matter who puts them forward. And we can have that if you vote for it. This is the last thing I'll say. If we can get the best 36 parliaments in Canada if we can get the best 36 candidates into parliament, it gives us a fighting chance for a better way. I know I'm only one person, and a short person at that. But the smallest hope can create ripples of possibility that rise into waves of revolution. And like the great Gil Scott-Heron said, the revolution will not be televised. No cameras will capture the moment when you step into the voting booth. No one will see the power of your decision. But I pray that in that quiet moment, the weight of what's at stake will echo in your heart, and you ask yourself, will my vote matter as much as disappearing ink on a page? Or will I stand with those who dare to make a mark and make history today? I hope you will vote for the best of us on February 18th. Thank you. At this time, yes, I'm open to some questions.
You are going up against Kim Swan.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on Kim Swan himself, first of all?
I don't have any thoughts on Kim Swan. He's a very nice man. He has had a chance to represent Bermuda in every political party we have had. I am asking for my chance to run as an independent to represent the people of my constituency. As I said before, this party politics has us confused of where the fight is. My fight is not with Kim Swan. I said earlier, I would vote for members of the PLP if I was in their constituency, for the best members of their party. So I have no other votes, no other thoughts about Kim Swan other than to wish him health and wellness like I wish all people.
There's a lot of young people that don't vote. How will you speak to them?
I spoke to this in my speech. We have last year, the 2020, I should say, we had almost 10,000 people show up.
Didn't show up.
That showed up the previous election cycle. So the previous election cycle, we had about 36,000. And then in 2020, we had about 28,000. So every year, less and less of our country are voting. And one of the tipping points, I've been trying to make this decision for a year, but one of the tipping points was the PLP's decision to cast this election with 6 weeks, giving young people that are our best and brightest, that are away in school, no opportunity to actually decide their future. We have created a process for sick-in ballots, but we haven't created a process to get our young people to vote. Bermuda Youth Connect is inspiring. They have made this initiative to bring young people home, asking for people to fund flights so that people can get involved in the democratic process. It's amazing. I think we are underestimating this generation, but I think the PLP did not underestimate this generation, and that's why they haven't made the efforts to make sure that they have the right to vote. And if we can get a parliament of 36 best candidates, I think we should make sure that we have an election period that is the same time every year. And I think we can implement technology that allows young people who maybe are working throughout the summer, because I know I did. I couldn't afford to come home at Christmas or summer, to get those people to vote as well. If less and less of us are voting, that's how these power monopolies are created. So I really encourage young people that are here and blessed to be here on February 18th to vote. And I know it's asking a lot. You have to knock off your job. You maybe have to ask your boss for time off, but you are constitutionally given that right. So exercise it.
Legally, you have 2 hours to go out and vote if you're working.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I mean. It's your right. Yeah.
My last question. What's your thoughts on the amount of persons that will step forward in this whole process? What does that speak to you? How do you see that?
For me, it speaks to what I spoke to earlier. People are very tired. We know and we understand that the party systems used to work. The PLP did great things. But this is not the PLP era of Lois Brown Evans. When I look around, I don't see people I admire or I would model in our political arenas. But to your question, one of the things, because there was all these little dominoes that led up to my decision to run, and that was the amount of people I saw before me coming forward to run as independents. Friends have been trying to get me to run for like 8 months, and I have said no every time for 8 months. And then Juanette Crockwell ran. She decided to run, and I had no more excuses because if a mom of three, a single mom of three who runs a full-time charity and somehow still manages to come to yoga on Sunday mornings can run, I have no excuse. I have no excuse whatsoever. I am completely inspired by the best and brightest coming forward. Every time Sari being talks, I said I can't wait till he is premier. You we have a rare opportunity, a moment in time where people who have full-time jobs, who have no time, are saying, I'm gonna find time. I'm gonna make time. And that's what I've decided to do today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you all for coming out today.
Sorry,
Yes, Alva.
I have two questions. In terms of the issues that you address, you mentioned housing and jobs. How do
Yes.
you intend to address those if you're given an opportunity to represent your constituency?
So one of the one of the things that I believe, Alva, right, is that the solutions, many of the solutions are already there. We have models such as the Ferguson Park homes down in St. David's of when private and public partnerships were created to create housing opportunities. I have seen in other parts of the world housing communities created where they provide subsidized housing for young people and seniors and create these intergenerational housing communities. So if I can and if I'm voted in, I would put forward some project where we reallocate government land going to waste and partner with uh, charities like Bermuda Housing, like Home, to create affordable living for young people as well, because a lot of young people are still living with their parents. You got 30-year-olds living with their parents are tired, they're tired, but there is the rent here is unbelievable. The prices are ridiculous for a one bedroom. And in terms of jobs, I think that one of the things I try to kill two birds with one stone, right? So one of the things that I feel like is my strength is I'm able to see a complex problem and create solutions that are win, 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 wins everywhere. And I feel like if we really invest as a government in renewable energy solutions like solar power, that we can create an entire industry and break this monopoly and stronghold that Belco has on us. We can train young people to maintain these solar power systems, build these solar power systems, work these solar power systems, and run the companies that manage our solar solutions. That's just some of the ideas. And I'm saying them here now. If they're said again by other contenders in the ring, so be it.
What has been the feedback like from leading up to today from people in the constituency regarding your candidacy, from your interactions?
I literally, I have people who said I was planning to spoil my ballot, but you will get my vote. I've had people who said I didn't vote in 2020, I can vote this year. I've had people who said I wish who lived in Renee Ming's constituency who said, I wish you were in my constituency. But again, these are all not, nobody will be with any of these people at the voting booth. It's at the voting booth that they have this decision before them. And I do hope that they will choose the future instead of the past. Thank you, Alva.
Thank you, Ms. Painter, for your remarks this morning. And my first question is, you said you are to be out canvassing soon. How well do you know your constituency?
I know my constituency like the back of my hand. I grew up in Mullet Bay. I grew up on the railway trails. I grew up playing football on the all boys team of St. George's Colts with legends like Freddie Hole and the Bascom's and my brother and Picnic. I am a member of the St. George's Cricket Club. My brother is president of the St. George's Cricket Club. My family lives from Suffering Lane to Boundary Lane, and I love my people. I know my people, my uncles, my cousins. I'm a painter from St. George's, and I look forward to getting on their doorsteps and hearing what their ideas are. And you know, Sari's brother Chris, he was talking about God's country out west, but I feel like there is no better parish than St. George's.
And just lastly from me, independent candidates, often face challenges in gaining visibility against the backdrop of established party campaigns. How do you hope to connect with voters and engage with and earn their trust?
Yeah, I think visibility is hard because we don't have a machine or money behind us that is going to pay for the interviews or pay for the ads in the Gazette or pay for the videographers to create beautiful ads on YouTube. So it is difficult, which is why we do need to try to get out there, which is why anybody who is willing to help in any way, do so. For me, it's me on Canva creating flyers and brochures. I don't have a media team behind me. It's me printing off things and guillotining my handouts and folding my brochures to put in people's doorsteps. This is as grassroots as it gets. And I do not want to go broke doing this. So I'm just letting you know. Well, I need all the help I can get.
Thank you.
If that's all, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for coming. I'll see you soon.